What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Casual Fan Podcast, the hardest working, most accurate, and most entertaining sports gambling show on YouTube. I'm David Rubin, and today we're going to be previewing and breaking down UFC 262 in Houston. Please like and subscribe. Last month, the UFC held its first show in front of a sold-out crowd, and it was a huge success. Every fight on the main card was a finish. Jake Paul and Cormier beefed, and we got a timeless meme from DC, Anik, and Rogan. Now they'll be heading to Texas, which has suddenly become the fight capital of the world. Last week, Canelo Alvarez starched Billy Joe Saunders in front of 70,000 screaming fans at Cowboy Stadium. UFC 262 will be taking place in Houston, which, just like Jacksonville, sold out in minutes. They kind of put all their eggs into one basket by booking 3 title fights on the Jacksonville card. There's a title fight here, but good luck convincing anyone that Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira are actually the best lightweights in the division. Meanwhile, the highly anticipated clash between Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards has been pushed back another month to UFC 263. While this card definitely won't live up to UFC 261, that doesn't mean it won't be exciting. So let's dive in and break down the fights. Let's start off with a few picks for the prelims, where Antonino Shevchenko is a minus 125 favorite over plus 105 Andrea Lee. I like Shevchenko here, and no, it's not just because her sister is the second best female fighter in the world, but her opponent, Andrea Lee, is on a 3-fight losing streak. Shevchenko may have to weather an early storm if she gets taken down, but she can easily win this one on points if she keeps her cool and outstrikes Lee. Shevchenko by decision is a plus 130 value currently, which isn't bad. Mike Grundy is a minus 120 favorite over plus 100 Lando Venata. It's kind of easy to see why Venata is the underdog here. He's only won 3 of his last 10 fights, and his last loss to Bobby Green wasn't exactly close. Grundy can take advantage of Venata's shoddy takedown defense, just like Green did when he took him down 3 times. Venata probably has a slight edge in striking, which is why Grundy's best path to victory is to grind it out on the mat and earn the unanimous decision. This is a prime candidate for a fight that the crowd will be doing the wave during. In the feature prelim, Jacare Souza versus Andre Muniz is a pick'em contest, and I don't get why. Hammer the minus 110 money line on Muniz. Jacare has lost 5 of his last 7 fights, while Muniz has lost once since 2016 and is 10 years younger. There are times when the veteran fighter wins out due to experience, the most recent being Andrei Arlovsky beating Chase Sherman at the ripe old age of 42, but I think we're more likely to see the elder statesman getting put out to pasture here. Having just fought twice since earning his contract from Contender Series, Muniz is hungry and looking to prove that he belongs. Souza may be an elite grappler, but Muniz can go toe-to-toe with him in that department, especially in Souza's advanced age. Bet on Muniz to win, and bet on Souza to either appear on Bellator or boxing Mike Tyson on Triller in 10 years' time. Alright, let's hop over to the main card. Shane Burgos is a minus 135 favorite over plus 115 Edson Barboza, but I'm riding with the underdog. Barboza may be 2-5 in his last 7 contests, but he's fought some great competition. In Burgos, he's facing someone who seems to relish taking a lot of strikes. Burgos lands an impressive 7.31 significant strikes on average, but absorbs 5.81. Anyone who's watched Barboza knows that his greatest weapon is his leg kicks. He can use them to dictate the pace against Burgos and to keep him from going forward. Burgos is a pressure boxer who uses his reach advantage against his opponents to great effect. But given that Barboza is a former lightweight, he's unlikely to have that same advantage here. However, he's extremely tough to knock out, so I don't see this one ending in a finish. It's a tough call, but I'm going to lean towards Barboza. Either way, this will be a fantastic fight in the early portion of the main card, and one that could set the tone for the rest of the night. Here's another underdog you should ride with. Vivi Araujo, who is plus 120 against the minus 140 favorite, Caitlin Chookagian. A loss to Jessica Eye is the only blemish on an otherwise spotless UFC record for Araujo. She can win in a variety of ways, as she has 3 career knockouts and 4 career submissions. She's a well-rounded fighter, and one that could give Chookagian a lot of trouble with her unpredictability. Chookagian is good at dodging opponents' strikes, but when it comes to takedown defense, she's a questionable 50%. She's not too good at returning the favor, having only landed takedowns once during her 12 UFC fights. Really, the only advantage Chookagian has over her opponent is that she's taller, but Vivi can find ways to exploit that. If she's going to do a lot of her damage on the ground, then expect this one to go the distance as well. On to the co-main event, where Beneil Dariush is a minus 185 favorite over plus 160 Tony Ferguson. If this fight had been made over a year ago, these lines would have looked crazy. Ferguson was one of the best lightweights in the world, and it was a matter of when, not if, he would get booked for a title shot. However, the lightweight champ at that time was Khabib, and we all know how cursed that matchup was. After that fight fell through for a 5th time, Ferguson put his skills to the test against Justin Gaethje, and we all know how that went. Gaethje pummeled him for 5 rounds, and he should have finished him a lot sooner than that. He then went up against Charles Oliveira and got beat down again. He's coming to UFC 262 in the worst form of his life, while Dariush is riding a 6-fight winning streak. The last time we saw Dariush was over a year ago when he absolutely starched Drakkar Klose, which spawned this fantastic reaction from the commentators. So Dariush is likely coming into this fight feeling fresh as a daisy. El Cucuy may be a certified sociopath, but we've seen countless times how suffering a ton of damage can negatively impact a fighter's career. Ferguson is spiraling hard, and Dariush will contribute to it by earning another finish to potentially put him closer to the lightweight title picture. Dariush by KO is actually a pretty attractive value at plus 480. The main event is for the vacant lightweight title strap now that Dana has finally acknowledged that Khabib's retired. It wasn't for lack of trying though. We all know how much Dana values money over his own fighters' personal lives. But after 5 months of Khabib still being called the lightweight champion, the belt was finally vacated. And good for him, he truly seems to be at peace with his decision. However, we all know Dustin Poirier is currently the best lightweight in the world, and would have made a lot more sense to see him in this spot fighting for the vacant lightweight title. But it was his decision to go for the red panty night by fighting McGregor again. That's why it's extremely ironic to see him call this contest fool's gold, since he was the one that publicly backed out of this opportunity. If he winds up losing to McGregor, that will go down as one of the biggest backfires in UFC history. As for the actual fight, Charles Oliveira is the favorite at minus 135 over plus 115 Michael Chandler. Chandler's getting this opportunity despite this being just his second UFC fight, but he ruled over the Bellator lightweight division for a long time, so he knows a thing or two about fighting for the strap. Meanwhile, this opportunity has been a long time coming for Charles Oliveira, who has been a mainstay in the UFC for over a decade, but he's riding high on an 8-fight winning streak, the most recent of which is an impressive dismantling of Tony Ferguson. Anytime you see a 3-time champ listed as an underdog in a title fight, you have to take it. Meanwhile, the odds that this fight won't go the distance are minus 365, so the public really likes this to end in a finish. It's easy to see why. 34 of Oliveira's 38 career fights are finishes, and the same can be said for 20 of Chandler's 27 career fights. Oliveira is most likely to get the win by submission given how phenomenal of a grappler he is. But Chandler's a good wrestler himself, and he's got the goods to either stuff Oliveira's takedowns or hold his own if the fight gets to the ground. In terms of striking, Chandler is decidedly better. If he can weather an early storm by Oliveira, then take advantage of his fading cardio later on, then I like Chandler to win this one by knockout, sometime during the third. Currently, the Chandler by KO prop is valued at plus 195. So to recap, in the prelims I've got Shevchenko, Grundy, and Muniz winning. In the main card I've got Edson Barboza and Vivi Araujo winning by decision, then Beneil Dariush and Michael Chandler winning by knockout. Enjoy the fights and enjoy hearing the fans once again. We'll see you back here next time the UFC circus rolls through.